I'm really honored to be here tonight, or this afternoon, to speak to you all. And I bring warm greetings from all my fellow USERF commissioners. You know, coming from Washington, D.C., as I do, I've been asked several times recently if I was going to attend one of the conventions. And I was proud to say that no, I wasn't going to be in Cleveland, and no, I wasn't going to be in Philadelphia. But yes, I am attending the one convention that is different from all others, no ordinary convention, the one that promotes greater spiritual awareness and peace right here in Harrisburg. More than 2 years ago, I had the honor to first meet some of you at the London Conference on World Religions, and the high honor then of meeting His Holiness, and was deeply impressed by his strong leadership and commitment to the struggle for tolerance and understanding worldwide. And His Holiness's example is so much needed today, especially with the rise of ISIL. Since your movement's founding, there has been no stronger voice against the rise of extremism and hatred than yours. Nor has there been a stronger voice for the recognition that we cannot counter religious extremism of some without defending the religious freedom of all. It should come as no surprise that in societies where religious freedom is absent, violent religious extremism often is rampant. And there are at least 3 reasons for this. First, when governments repress or don't protect religious freedom, they drive people into the arms of extremist groups and movements. An example of this would be Russia's repression of Muslims in the name of fighting extremism, which has produced violent extremism in others. Second, governments that repress religions or religious groups in the name of fighting extremists strengthen these same extremists by limiting and weakening their more moderate competition. This was the case under President Mubarak in Egypt, and now under President al-Sisi. And finally, when governments enforce laws that stifle the religious freedom of certain people and groups, they embolden extremists to commit violence against them. This is sadly the case, as you well know, of the Ahmadiyya Muslims in Pakistan. Like other religious minorities there, the Ahmadiyya disproportionately are charged, detained, and punished under its blasphemy code. Since 1974, Pakistan's government considers Ahmadiyya, quote, non-Muslim, end quote. Pakistani law bars Ahmadis from calling their worship centers mosques and prevents them from uttering traditional Islamic greetings or quoting from the Quran. It prohibits them from sharing or publishing their beliefs and restricts them from building houses of worship and holding public meetings. It prevents them from voting unless they register as non-Muslims. And Pakistani law is used to arrest, detain, and sentence Ahmadiyya Muslims like Abdul Shakur, an 80-year-old optician who in January of this year was sentenced to prison after being accused of selling an Ahmadiyya commentary on the Quran along with other publications. Clearly, such anti-Ahmadiyya laws send a horrific message to extremist groups in Pakistan that the Ahmadiyya are enemies of society and fair game for attacks. Such attacks include the horrific July 2014 murder in Punjab province of an Ahmadi woman and her 2 granddaughters. A mob burned them alive, leaving 9 other Ahmadis badly burned. And last November, also in Punjab province, a mob set ablaze an Ahmadi-owned factory. The following day, a nearby Ahmadiyya mosque was burned and looted. While Pakistan is the worst example of how religious freedom restrictions that target Ahmadiyya Muslims lead to extremist violence against them, there are others. In Indonesia, the Council of Ulama issued a fatwa declaring the Ahmadiyya faith to be heretical, following the government's 2008 decree banning Ahmadis from spreading their faith. Several Indonesian state governments also issued bans on the practice of Ahmadiyya Muslims, emboldening extremists to vandalize at least 50 Ahmadiyya mosques just since 2008. Clearly, Ahmadiyya Muslims' experiences show that to combat religious extremism, we must uphold religious freedom. We must combat extremist beliefs that dishonor some people instead by providing space for tolerant beliefs which honor all people. And so how do we uphold religious freedom? USCIRF continues to call on the State Department, our State Department, to designate Pakistan a CPC, or country of particular concern, making it among the world's worst religious freedom violators. And Indonesia remains on our Tier 2 list of nations responsible for religious freedom abuses which are serious, but do not rise to the superior CPC level. USCIRF will continue to stand for the right of every person and group to choose what to believe and not to believe, and practice their beliefs openly, peacefully, and as their conscience leads. This precious liberty is the birthright of everyone in this room, and USCIRF will continue to stand with you as you stand for freedom and against any government or person who refuses to recognize your sacred right to be Ahmadiyya Muslims. Thank you.